It is the year 1956 and the place is a secret military laboratory. Several scientists have gathered together to discuss about a weapon of mass destruction. There have been several meetings, a lot of discussions about what exactly are the properties that this weapon of bacteriological kind should possess. All of a sudden, the meeting breaks off. All the scientists are being admitted to the hospital with food poisoning-like symptoms. It is found that the scientists haven't consumed anything other than the water which was on the table. The water is taken to the laboratory and tested. It is found that the chemical composition of this water is nothing other than H2O. What just happened? The investigation came to a dead end, stating poisoning due to ordinary water. Hi friends, Vandana here. Welcome back to my channel. So today let's talk about water memory and let's get started. It is 1988 and a fantastic hypothesis was put across saying water has memory. Researcher Jacques Benveniste, the director of French medical research at that time, published saying water has memory while researching for homeopathy. Just to give a background about his research, in our body we have something called WBCs. Specific ones are basophils. So these actually create something called antibodies when they meet allergens. So whenever we come across any allergens, the specific kind of antibodies are created. Jacques Benveniste tried to dilute these antibodies with water to the extent that there were no more biomolecules which existed in this water, and tried to induce this into the allergen's body. And what happened was really surprising. These basophils created the exact same immune response which they used to create when the actual allergens were injected. It was as if the water had the memory of these antibodies, as if they existed in them. There were some in the research that said that this was too good to be true. And editor John Maddox even oversaw the results, but later these results were not being able to replicate, and that's how the research just came to a dead end. Fast forward, it is 1999 and a businessman from Japan, Masaru Emoto, created several experiments. He published several volumes of data with the title Messages from Water. And in order to prove his theory, he conducted several experiments. Masaru Emoto believed that our thoughts have been filled with enormous energy and they have profound impact on anything that we encompass. He felt that human thoughts are made up of energy which was so powerful that they could actually change reality. And so his experiment was conducted for a 30-day period of trial. He placed 3 specific jars and placed cooked rice in each of the jar. Equal amounts of water were put in. 2 of the jars were labeled and the third wasn't. The first jar was labeled as thank you and the second jar was labeled as you idiot. So to speak, it is the way you treat those jars. For 30-day period consistently, he said thank you from the bottom of his heart to the first jar. He used the emotion of gratefulness to talk to this jar. The second jar, the you idiot jar, he yelled, you are an idiot to it, and felt angered and frustrated as though he was saying those words to them. And the third jar, he completely ignored it. He behaved as if that didn't exist. He used the indifference to it. And at the end of the 30th day, there were these observations. The jar that he thanked fermented spectacularly. It created a beautiful aroma. And the jar that he bullied, saying, you are an idiot, and into whom he took out his anger, had turned black. It was covered with black mold. And the jar that he ignored for 30 days had even more black mold, and it was rotten and smelling. Adding to these amazing experiments, Dr. Emoto conducted several other experiments. He took out the water samples from Fujiwara Dam before and after prayers from a famous priest called Kato Hoki from Japan. So this priest is actually from Johon temple, which was very famous in Japan that time. And so These samples were tested under the microscope. It created unbelievable, amazing results. The water which was not prayed had created distorted structure in it, the molecular structure, whereas those which was under prayer, which was under positive messages, which was under reverence, created beautiful crystalline structure. It's not just with this water, but there were several experiments following this, showing that the structure of the water was keenly affected by emotions and the place it came from. Although these experiments were seen under a microscope and replicated, there were several criticisms, and these criticisms on experiments of Emoto precisely indicate the reflections of several prevailing materialistic dogmas, that we cannot take anything beyond what is called as science. And so that's why here I am to talk about another experiment. So in the year 2001, Bernd Kroplin from the Institute of Static and Dynamics for Aerospace Constructions of University of Stuttgart from Germany published his findings concerning memory research in his book Water in a Droplet. The results of Kroplin, which were conducted on each samples of these droplets of water under a dark field microscope, is just amazing. A scientific experiment was carried out whereby a group of students were all encouraged to obtain one of the drop of water from the same water body. Through close examination of this water in a droplet, it was seen that each produced different results. A second experiment was then carried out where a real flower was placed into the body of water, and after a while a sample droplet of water was taken out for examination. The results produced were of mesmerizing patterns, but all the droplets of this water looked very similar. When the same experiment was done with a different species of flower, the magnified droplet looked completely different, thereby determining that a particular flower is evident in each droplet of water. Through this discovery of water has memory, a new perception can be found. Now let's take a pause at finding out those evidences for stating that water has memory and everything, and let's get into what could be the impact if this is true. Just imagine water has been capturing information as and when it is traveling from several sources, from several times in the past, and we have several sources where the water is untouched for many years, and this could lead us to a way where we can identify the source, the past. Also know that water is present in asteroids and beyond Earth. We have many places where water exists, and we could just imagine the impact that would have by understanding the structure of water, where it could actually possess memory. And imagine every single day we drink a lot of water. Our entire body is made out of 80% water. Each and every living being is filled with water. Even the inorganic world is 70% water. And imagine the state of emotions and the subconscious behavior that we inject while drinking water, while interacting with water. How much of an impact will that have? So let's take a pledge to create those positive vibes around us. Thank you so much for listening to me all this while. I hope to bring you content which could bring you thoughts on introspection, and let's all be together in this. Thank you so much. Have an amazing life. Bye bye.